So I was in my early 20s. My girlfriends and I had gone, I live in Northern California, for those of you who don't know. I live in Northern California. My girlfriends and I went to Southern California in the LA area to see a concert. I can't remember how we ended up with 2 cars. And to this day, I'm still going to try and figure that out. But of course, that was like 40 years ago or so. And early Sunday morning, we were driving back home to Northern California on the I-5. So we decided to sort of take turns. It was going to be a 5.5-hour drive or a 5-hour drive. So as we're driving, I thought, I'll be in my car by myself, and the other 2 can be in the car, her car, in front of me. And we just made sure we stayed close, because back then there was no cell phones, we couldn't communicate, and we just didn't want to lose each other, even if we knew how to get home. As we're on the I-5, it was probably about mid-morning, but it was extremely, extremely windy that day or that morning. And from a distance, you could see clear skies, but from a distance, it looked very dark, and I wasn't sure what it was. And I couldn't communicate with my friends to call them on the cell phone to say, hey, what is that thing up ahead? So we just got closer to it, and as we did, it was a dust storm. And never been through a dust storm before until now. We live in Arizona, and we know what a dust storm is. But back when I was in my early 20s, I just thought it was okay to go through. Like, hey, this is something that people do every day that live out here in the desert or in the valley. So as we're getting into it, I stayed close to my friend's car so that her taillight is what my guide was to get through there. And it wasn't zero visibility yet, but then I started to get really nervous. And then within seconds, it was zero visibility. I couldn't see their taillight, and I certainly didn't know where I was going. So I hung onto the wheel. I prayed that nobody would hit me from the back, and I wouldn't hit my friends in the front, and nothing was coming in from the side. Because like I said, it was something I'd never experienced before. So being in that zero visibility dust storm, going maybe about 10 to 20 miles an hour, I stayed and I prayed that I can get out of there alive. So in that moment, there was an opening in the dust storm, and all I saw was blue skies. So I thought, wow, I'm going to get out of here. And in that blue sky, there were clouds. And as I looked at the clouds, I saw Jesus' face in the clouds. And I didn't want to keep staring at it because I was trying to focus. And so at that moment also, I felt this relief of, okay, I feel safe. Like it's in Jesus' hands. Like, he's going to help me through this. Like, Jesus, take the wheel, right? But I got through there. I didn't want to keep looking because, like I said, I had to focus on the road. But then we went back into that darkness again, and then, I don't know, maybe a couple of minutes or 30 seconds, we were out of that dust bowl, basically, that windstorm or the dust storm. And I saw my friends up front, and we started to speed up a little bit, and it was now clear skies. So I got up close to them, and I said, like, next exit, pull over. So we pulled over, got out of my car, and I said, did you see that? I was really excited. I go, wasn't that amazing? And they looked at me like, what? Like the dust storm? We almost died in there. I said, you didn't see what I saw? And I go, what did you see? And I said, in the clouds, it was Jesus' face. He was helping us. He was guiding us. There's no crashes, right? And they just looked at me like, you probably lack of sleep from the concert before. But I said, no, I know what I saw. And that was a moment that I'll always remember. And I share that. I shared it with my husband when I first met him. And he says, you got to share that story. So